out, and that's this one here. Okay, this is just a little bit clearer where you can see it's a little bit simpler for us so that we can quickly shade in and know Canada's physical regions. So for example, I might pick, I'm going to pick kind of a browny color maybe. Oh, we got a browny color here.
There's a little brown.
Okay, that's kind of a browny color there that I might shade in. I might shade in the Western Cordillera, which is just the Western Mountains. Okay, and yes, Vancouver Island is part of that. Vancouver Island is basically a bunch of big mountains sticking out of the water. All right, so I'm going to shade that all in. Now you get over here to 2, which is the Interior Plains. I'm going to use a different color, so I'm going to use my green again. Okay, and this stretches across Alberta. We already saw this on the other map. And then our Canadian Shield. I'm going to find a different color again. And I'm going to shade in my Canadian Shield. You'll notice the numbers up here. The numbers up here, if you guys look. This will help you figure out what colors to shade the different regions there. Please, no blue for coloring land. Blue we use for water. Blue is water. And don't start coloring blue. Don't start coloring blue down here, thinking this is coastline, because what is this down here?
U.S.
That's the United States, right? So you got to be careful there.
Wait, Mr. Wallace, I've colored my turquoise. Is that okay?
Shade over it with something else so that I know that you know it's not water. All right. Got her. Did I want? All right, so if you guys look at this one here, I have the Western Mountains, or the Western Cordillera, as it's sometimes called by geography people, is all shaded in brown. You'll notice that all my rivers, it's hard to see, but all these rivers here that flow to the west, I've used the dark blue, and I've shaded the coastline in a dark blue here. And you can see over here with Pacific Ocean that I've colored in the letters there to show that that's the Pacific coast. I haven't colored in the Arctic Ocean yet because I just haven't gotten to it. But on the east coast, on the Atlantic Ocean, you'll notice that I've used a lighter colored blue because I just want to show that I'm aware that that's a different coastline. And all the rivers that flow east or into the Gulf of Mexico, like the Mississippi, which flows south, or the St. Lawrence, which flows east, or these rivers right here through the United States, through the Great Prairies, these all are shaded in the light blue because they're going to the east. So I told you guys already, there's kind of an imaginary line. It's kind of cool if you think about it. It's called the Continental Divide. And basically it kind of runs through here along the Rockies in these sort of high plains or plateaus on the other side of the Rockies. Everything on the west side, all the rivers flow to the Pacific on the west, and all the rivers on this side flow to the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico in the south. So it's kind of cool. Now, what we have here is we have the Canadian Shield. This is all very rocky, kind of tundra, not a lot grows there, can be very marshy and boggy. On the east coast, you have the Eastern Mountains or the Eastern Highlands, which are, again, kind of rocky. Like if you go to Newfoundland, very, very rocky. Parts of Quebec can be very mountainous, but not nearly as high and not nearly as rugged as the Rocky Mountains and the Coast Mountains and the Sierra Nevadas and stuff that are over here in the west. So these mountains out here in the west are much higher, much rockier. And then, of course, we have the Central Plains, or the prairies, which run right across Canada and the United States through to the south. Up north, we have a lot of Arctic. But you'll notice that the way that I've shaded this is it makes clear what the different regions, geographic regions are, so that I know that you know that there's some differences as you travel across Canada. There's some very different landscapes as we travel. Now to highlight that a little,